Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. I am Joanna Chadwick of the Wichita Eagle and VarsityKansas.com, and we are taping here at KSN. My guest today is Carroll football coach Alan Schuckman. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Joanna.
Well, Coach is making a reappearance on the show, which means you're still playing. So that's a positive.
That is a positive. We're still alive, so looking forward to Friday night.
Well, and you have quite a test on Friday, but first of all, I want to talk to you about you've won 23 straight games now. Talk about that. How awesome is it to be a part of this kind of success?
Well, you know, as we were talking earlier, I need people like you to remind me how many we've won in a row. And as a head football coach, you're always looking forward. You don't look back. And it's been a good run. Our kids don't really talk about it much. Winning traditions, kind of what we built at Bishop Carroll. So that's what we like most is the high expectations and not just athletics, but academics, whatever it is. And we're just pushing forward.
Does it put more pressure on your team as you experience more winning and maybe, I don't know if there's more focus because there's a winning streak?
I think the one thing it does is we get everybody's best shot, and that's good. I mean, we're starting to try to put ourselves on a caliber of a Hutch, you know. I mean, that was always the team we were chasing and trying to elevate our program. And I think people are doing that with us, and they're trying to elevate their program, and a good measuring stick is beating Bishop Carroll. And so that puts a little pressure on us because we know we can't go out and have a bad game because if we do, we're going to end up losing. So this time of the year, the expectations are, I mean, they're to win anyway because you have to win to move on. So I think, we're just moving forward and looking forward to every opportunity we have.
Well, and let's talk about the defense, which I've been so impressed with. I mean, the defensive line is clearly strong. I mean, Nick Nolting is one name that he's tearing it up out there, but that whole defense has been great.
Yeah, our defense has played well. You know, we had 4 returning starters off a pretty good defense last year, and we had a lot of guys that played. So we felt like our defense would be what would carry us this year, and I think it has. And it starts up front, you know, Stahlbaumer and Dugan and Nolting and Honus and Hallisey. Those 5 guys have really owned the line of scrimmage, and it makes those linebackers' job a little easier to run around and make plays. And our secondary's been solid as well. So our defensive coaches have done an excellent job, and they've kind of gotten us to this point right now.
Talk a little bit about your offense. I mean, you had quite a quarterback competition last we talked. It was between 2 players. You ended up going with Tyler Skilling at quarterback. He's a senior. And then midway through the year, after some struggles that you guys had in 2 straight games, Colton Howell is now your quarterback, and he's been doing a really phenomenal job.
He really has, and we needed a spark offensively. We struggled for a couple games, and we put Colton in there, and he's kind of taken advantage of his opportunity. Everything we do, in our program, we talk about opportunity. You never know when it's going to happen, and when it happens, you better take advantage of it. And Colton's taken advantage of it, and our offense is, back to where it was last year, moving the football. And it's not just the quarterback play per se, but it's also our offensive line coming together with 4 returning 4 guys to replace. So they're getting a little more comfortable up front. And again, Colton has stepped in, and his ability to run and throw it has really given us a positive dimension.
Well, and of course, you have a good running back game with Denzel Goolsby and Torrey Smith back there. But Scott Linamar is a kid. We were talking before we started taping about this is a kid who's had a great he's really improved. And part of that has to do with his willingness to go try a different sport.
Right. Scotty's was a receiver last year, played for us, played a lot. He was in our rotation. He was a good receiver. This year he's become a great receiver, and his athleticism really improved by running track last year. And Coach Jax is our sprinter coach, and worked with him day in, day out. And Scotty has really upgraded his athleticism. We lost Matt Denning, one of the top sprinters in the state of Kansas last year, and he's playing football at Drake University, and we're like, who's going to replace him? And we knew Scotty had some of the abilities that Matt did, but when he improved that speed and that confidence, it's just made him an excellent threat on the outside. And so when kids talk to me about I'm a one-sport athlete. Boy, here's a prime example of a reason why you don't want to do that. Plus, he was part of a 4x1 team last year that once was a state champion. So anytime you can compete at that level, at that type of meet at the Kansas high school track meet, you can't pass on that. And I'm happy for him and his successes, and not just for what he brings to the team, but for him, because he's put a lot of work into being that type of player he has been this year.
You all know I'm a big proponent of the multi-sport athlete. I will talk about it any day of the week. Let's talk, though, about Solana South. You've got them on Friday at home. I, of course, would love to see this game in the state championship or at least the semifinals, but you've got them in the quarterfinals. What do you guys need to do to beat them and move on?
Well, they're probably one of the most physical teams we've seen all year. They start 18 seniors, and they are very experienced. A lot of those guys have started for 3 years. They have a lot of pressure on them. They're going into this season saying, everybody telling them, hey, this is your year. If it's kind of like we were last year, and that, you do put a lot of pressure on yourselves. But, excellent football team, big, physical, fast. We're going to have to play at the top of our game to beat them. We can't put the ball on the ground. We can't. We got to take care of it, and we're going to have to eliminate the big plays. I mean, Stonebreaker at quarterback, Jones at tailback, Knockbar at receiver. They got 3 awesome offensive threats. So it's going to be a challenge for us. We're excited to play in this type of game. This is a good measuring stick for us. Now, just because you win this game doesn't make you state champs. You still have to refocus and get another 2 more wins. So, but this will definitely be one of those games that you're glad you're a part of.
Well, it's interesting. Coach and I talked before we came on the air just about, it's too bad this is so early. But, of course, that's not your response to this, is it?
No, again, you play them how they fall. And, if we feel like we're the best football team in the state of Kansas, you got to beat them whenever. So, we talk about going 4-0 in the playoffs, and right now we're 1-0, and we can't get to 3 and 4 until you take care of 2. So, again, I'm just excited to play a good quality football team like Solana South. Everybody's favorite to be a state champion and being number 1 in 5A. So, we are going to try to circle the wagons and give them a game on Friday.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and good luck to you on Friday.
Thanks, Joanna.
All right. Well, the boys' soccer season wrapped up over the weekend. It was Rose Hill taking second in Class 4 through 1A. Just a heartbreaking 1-0 loss there, I know, for the Rockets. In Class 5A, it was Capon beating Carroll for 3rd place. And in Class 6A, Derby finished 4th. All right. Looking at the postseason awards, we have the All-Metro Volleyball team. That will run on Thursday in the Wichita Eagle, along with all the all-area teams. And I did release the All-Metro Volleyball team last week on the varsitykansas.com, on the webpage there, and on Twitter. It's a good team, let me tell you. So congrats to those girls. All-Metro Soccer will be in Friday's Wichita Eagle and on varsitykansas.com. I will release it on varsitykansas.com on Tuesday, so make sure you look for that. This week's games, boy, I tell you, they are looking awfully good. We have, of course, Solana South is at Carroll, and this is a game I know I anticipated at the start of the season, and I know I'm not the only one. It'll be another battle of green and gold. Should be fun to watch. Also in 5A, Capon is at Salina Central. Capon got a good win over Liberal, a Liberal team that goes for an onside kick every time it kicks off. It's a little bit nuts, but props to Capon. They only gave up 1 onside kick there. That's no easy feat. And Salina Central, of course, ended Andover's perfect season. In Class 6A, Heights is at Garden City. Heights got a really good win up in Topeka. I mean, their offense was on point, and they were able to get some big run backs as well. And I really like what this team is doing with its running backs. They've had injury after injury, and yet here they are playing in the second round of the 6A playoffs. Also in 6A, Derby is at Manhattan. Derby got a running clock win over North High, while Manhattan needed 5 overtimes to beat Mays High. Just an incredible game in which Mays led by 17 points. Manhattan scores 17 points in a 5-minute period, and they send that game to overtime. And just an intense finish there with these two teams just pulling out big play after big play. And finally, Manhattan clearly had enough, and they go for a 2-point conversion on the swinging gate. Yes, the 2-point conversion on a swinging gate, and they win the game. It was amazing. Annandale travels to Holton. That game is on Friday night. And Annandale got a good win over McPherson on Saturday. Annandale is just so fast. I love this matchup. Holton beat Mulvane. You know, Holton and Annandale, they're 1-2 all season long in Class 4A. Holton is a defending champ. This game is going to be incredible. What I tell you, I think it will be on lines, if it goes like it looks on paper, of one of those epic games, kind of similar to what Holton had with McPherson last year at this point. But Holton had to beat Mulvane, which an amazing comeback against Collegiate on Tuesday. 18 points. They're down with 9 minutes to go. Michael Mason for 354 in that game. That was a fun game to watch, too. So basically, I watched blowouts all season long, and in 2 games I managed to get 2 of the best games of the season, so I guess I'll take it. All right, in 3A, it is Conway Springs playing host to Scott City. That game is on Saturday, and Sedgwick is playing at Beloit. Also in 4A, Hayden is at Buhler, and that will be a good matchup too. All right, we are winding down the season. If you can believe it, we're down to the final sport of the fall sports for 2013, which means we're heading into the winter sports. We've got wrestling and swimming and bowling. We will start basketball previews in Sunday's Wichita Eagle and on VarsityKansas.com, so be checking for your favorite team. Thanks so much for watching the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. I am Joanna Chadwick of the Wichita Eagle on VarsityKansas.com, and I'll be chatting live from 1 to 2 on Wednesday.